We would call the Rules Committee to order. It is 11:08. Running just a little bit late. That's not like us, but everyone's really busy. So at this time, Councilor Garvin, would you please lead us in a word of prayer?
Father in heaven, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this time we can meet and do the business for the Cherokee people. We ask now that you bless each of us and bless our visitors. Be with our chairman as he leads us today. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Roll call, Shelley.
Yes, sir. Joe Bird.
Connie.
Frankie Hargis. Buell England.
Here.
Keith Austin.
Here.
Jack Baker.
Here.
Harley Buzzard.
Here.
Sean Crittenden.
Honey.
Don Garvin. Wanda Hatfield. Rex Jordan.
Here.
Dick Blake.
Here.
Curtis Snell. Janice Taylor. Here. David Thornton. Victoria Vasquez. David Walkingstick. Brian Warner.
Honey.
We do have a quorum.
This time I'd entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the ayes have it. We'll drop down the reports. Marshal Service, Mr. Shannon Buell, are you here?
Shannon's not, but I am.
Okay.
Morning, everyone. I'm Scott Craig. I'm one of Shannon's captains. Shannon's out of state on training. He asked me to come and see if there were any questions about the report that we had turned in.
Any questions? Everything must be going pretty well there. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Scott.
Everybody have a Merry Christmas.
Yes, you too. Office of the Attorney General, Mr. Todd Hembry. I know he's been very busy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Merry Christmas to all. Happy New Year's to come. It's always a pleasure to appear before the Rules Committee. We have had a busy several days since the last time we appeared. Some dates to note is that we have filed a motion to dismiss in the Baby Doe versus General Scott Pruitt and General Todd Hembry case in the Northern District of Oklahoma. We feel that they failed to state a claim upon which relief can be granted, and upon several other issues. That hearing will be held on January 12th, 2016. I will get you the court date, or the court time will be 1 p.m. I'll get you the courtroom if anyone wishes to attend. Hopefully that case will be disposed of, and we will deal with the other ICW cases. If you recall, there have been a number of ICW cases filed wherein the members of what we call the adoption industry has challenged the BIA regulations and guidelines that were put in place to implement the Indian Child Welfare Act. Now, those guidelines, clearly will help implement and strengthen ICW, and those guidelines were predicated upon great input by the Cherokee Nation. Assistant Attorney General Christy Nemo and Sarah Hill played a great part in developing those guidelines, and those guidelines only came into place, or even were thought to be created because of the Baby Veronica case. Okay, so even though we may have lost a battle with Baby Veronica on a 5-4 Supreme Court decision, these guidelines won us the war, and obviously that's what has angered the adoption industry, and they have filed a series of lawsuits trying to get this matter back up into the Supreme Court. They had filed one in Virginia that has been dismissed. They filed one in Minnesota that is still pending. They filed one in Oklahoma that I just talked about. We think that we will get that dismissed, and then there is a one in Arizona that we are assisting the Navajo tribe in getting that matter dismissed. So it is a multi-front war, one that we are engaged in on the ground level, and we'll give you reports as they come available. Last I reported that the 76-acre UKB case was nearing our completion of having the briefs filed. We did file our reply brief on November 16th. So what we are waiting on now is a setting for the hearing on the merits. That has not occurred, but when it does occur, we will let this council know, and that would be one that would be of great interest in the Eastern District of Oklahoma, and would encourage your attendance when that hearing comes to pass.
Mr. AG, the 76 acre, that's the one that's under Judge White, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Then the 2.6 is Judge Frizzell?
Frizzell in the Northern District.
Okay.
And that case has been pending in front of Judge Frizzell for 16 months now. So any day now, if we keep saying it. Knock on wood. Since the last time we met, we had the honor and privilege of attending the oral arguments in the United States Supreme Court concerning the Dollar General case versus Mississippi Band of Choctaw Indians. Our speaker and deputy speaker were also able to attend those hearings. For your counsel, Diane Barker Harold, and our Supreme Court Justice Angie Jones also attended. It is a great honor to be in the presence of the justices and see firsthand the arguments and the questions asked on a case that is of utmost importance to all of Indian country. Our amicus brief was well received. The arguments were well done. The questions were pertinent, and I believe that this is going to be a very close call. I've said that all along. It should be a 5-4 decision. But you hope for the best and prepare for the worst. And one of the things that we talked about in postmortem is that, and this is something that should happen in all of Indian country anyway, but as usual, the Cherokee Nation wants to be at the forefront. We want to lead the way. And we are working on developing a very strong and detailed civil code that sometime after the first year, with the advice of in consultation of Ms. Barker Harold, we will bring forward a piece of legislation that will, in my mind, fix a lot of the problems that we may have come a Dollar General decision, which should happen sometime in March or April. Also, while we were in D.C., we attended many meetings with congressional staff and congressional members. Two major pieces of legislation that is of very much importance to the Cherokee Nation. One is H.R. 3764, which is the Tribal Recognition Act of 2015. It is sponsored by Representative Bishop. This act would strip the BIA from being the decision maker in federal recognition of groups to federally recognized tribe. Extremely dangerous piece of legislation, in my opinion. And during the committee hearing that we heard, Representative Ruiz quoted at length a letter that Chief Baker sent being in opposition to this act. In my opinion, and Chief Baker spelled this out very clearly, this would politicize tribal recognition. To a point that, right now it's an administrative procedure. It is a strict administrative procedure. Now it got lighter, just a few months ago, but it's still very strict. If we put this into the hands of a congressional committee, well, the people who are bankrolled with a lot of money and a lot of lobbyists are going to be influencing those representatives for tribal recognition, and I think it makes it politicizes the process. It, in my opinion, could dangerously strengthen the gaming industry, that they take a group thinking that they want a good place for a casino at, spend a few $1 million for tribal recognition. They get it, put it in there, and there you go. hopefully that this act will not have much legs to it, but we are on top of it, we are engaged in it, and we will give you reports as the bill progresses, or hopefully does not progress. Another major piece of legislation that is on Capitol Hill right now is Senate Bill 1879, which is the Interior Improvement Act. It is brought forward by Senator Barrasso. This is what we would call a Carcieri fix. Carcieri was a Supreme Court case that ruled that the Bureau of Indian Affairs did not have the authority to take in, or the Department of Interior did not have the authority to take in land in trust for any tribe not recognized prior to 1936. I think it's clear that all of Indian country desires a Carcieri fix, but it's get into the details of whether this would be the right vessel to get that accomplished. Now, we met with committee staff and other senators about this, and we suggested language that I think would make it much more clear as to federally recognized tribes being taken land in a trust off reservation. Again, it is a very important piece of legislation. We are totally engaged in it. We are keeping an eagle eye on it, and we will give you updates as they occur. One last thing I'd like to report on is that, as you may, I'm sure you know, is Assistant Secretary Kevin Washburn has resigned. He did that on the last day we were up there. His second in command, Larry Roberts, will be interim Assistant Secretary probably throughout the remainder of the Obama administration. That's the report I have. Would entertain any questions. And again, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Any questions? Yes, Councilor Buzzer?
Todd, is that 47 Act, is it still on the board, or is the board trying to get that
Yes.
into legislation?
Yes, that is one of Chief Baker's top priorities is as we set our legislative agenda for next year, that is at the forefront. That, you know, we have we and the five civilized tribes have made very many efforts in the past to get that.
Would you give just a brief description of what that's about, so we all understand?
Sure. The 47 Act is deals with, well, our pertinent issue with it is whether probates can be involved in tribal jurisdiction, and the restrictions on land to tribal members. You know, it's a very complicated, detailed issue. But we are going to. That is going to be the top of our priority list when the legislative agenda gets set. We are working with head of government relations, Kim Teehee. She's the one who will spearhead that project. Also, there is we've had several meetings with members of the five civilized tribes. We hosted a meeting concerning the 47 Act just recently. We're going to move with a concerted effort, a combined effort, and hopefully after these elections, we'll see where the lay of the land is, and you know, who's going to be in the White House, who's going to have control of the Senate. Maybe even the House of Representatives may be in play. We don't know, but we are setting the groundwork for a major initiative in that regard.
Thank you. And that's an important issue for tribal members too. Also.
Yes, it is.
Thank you. Thank you,
Yes.
Mr. Chairman.
Councilor Taylor?
I have two questions. Did you say that the State Attorney General was in agreement with you on that Baby Doe case?
He's in agreement that it should be dismissed.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
that's somewhat agreement. Okay.
Yeah.
And then who did you say sponsored the HR 3764?
Representative Bishop.
That's all I have.
Okay, anybody else? Yeah, Councilor Lay?
Thank you, sir. Todd, one of the initial points of contact between the nation and on the Veronica case was that they misspelled the name when they sent it over, and we said, no, not a member. Recently, somebody has told me that our file room got wet because of the construction. Do you know? There's nobody else to ask that of. That's not your thing.
I'm not aware of any of that situation. So I really couldn't.
Those
connect.
files are us. I mean,
They are.
That's,
They need, I would agree that the preservation of those files
I don't know if
would
there's
be very
anybody
important.
else in the room that can answer that, or,
Maybe at Resource Committee later on.
Yeah, maybe Bruce Davis.
That's the one in there.
Yeah, Secretary?
Yeah, they got wet.
We're confident that we've preserved those. We're also making plans to make sure we have a better storage facility for those. So
you don't have the vault or something?
we have a vault, but it has to be a vault if we create some additional storage. But the sense is that we do need some more storage, so we're looking at that.
I'm concerned about what I'm hearing over there, so.
We're addressing the leaks and taking care of the materials.
Thank you.
Yes, Counselor Garvin?
Todd, do we have any idea when the Supreme Court might make a decision on that?
I would predict March or April. There's usually a 3-month lag. Right now, they're hearing cases every week, and their clerks are writing, and they will exchange briefs back and forth, and then the majority will come, and then the dissent will get a chance, and then there'll be, the majority will get a chance to respond to the dissents, and it should be March or April.
Listening to the question, do you think we have the 5-4 in our favor, or?
To be perfectly frank, no. I think we got a 5-4 against us. The questions that were asked by Justice Kennedy, which I believe would be the swing vote, were not favorable to tribal jurisdiction. But as every attorney who even deals with the Supreme Court, they would say, don't pay attention to the questions. So I'm trying not to. But there was not a warm, fuzzy feeling from
Well,
Justice
let's
Kennedy.
have to keep our fingers crossed.
We will. And again, that's why it's important to hope for the best but expect the worst. And let's put into place, codes and legislation that and in our contracts that we deal with from, about where's, that there's going to be consent to tribal court jurisdiction, that when there's consent to tribal court jurisdiction, that we have in place a system of due process that rivals no one. Not only do we want to lead Indian country, we want to lead the country in this. And that's the aspect that I'm going at it in helping draft this legislation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Counselor Vasquez?
Yes, Todd, I apologize for my mishearing or not hearing all of your, would you reiterate what that January 12, 2016 court date is about?
Yes, that is the Cherokee Nation's motion to dismiss for failure to state a claim of relief and other measures in the Baby Doe versus Pruitt and Hembry. So hopefully, like in the Virginia case, that the federal court here will follow that lead and dismiss that case.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Mr. AG, I just want to commend you and your staff for helping us coordinate the trip and really staying on top of all the legislation and meeting with all the congressional people. It was very, very helpful, and co-speaker as well. I mean, I don't think it's feasible to send that many people up there at all times, but at this time I thought it was very important that we were there. And getting to sit in there and listen to the 9-panel judge determine the faith of our people in the United States was somewhat at times distressing. But you say we would just be optimistic about the case, and it looks like maybe we're going to be okay in it. One comment that was made that really caught my attention, it said, when the Indians came to the United States, And you really have to hold your composure in there because they don't even let you whisper once the case starts.
Right.
And they hush you before they even start. They condition you 30 minutes before you even hear it. So I thought, I probably should walk out, and I thought, no, you got to keep your composure here. But in all, I thought we had very good support and good questions were asked. So you guys did an excellent job with your brief there. So I want to commend you and your staff.
Well, thank you, Speaker Byrd. And your comments just go towards how far we have to go. That was the Hall of Justice. That was the most learned justices and attorneys in the United States were in that room. Yet sometimes they had just a scintilla of concept of what tribes are and what Indian law is. And so we need to be vigilant. We need to be on the forefront, educating not just justices, not just lawyers, but congressmen, senators, state congressmen and senators, governors, because so many people in America don't think about tribal sovereignty, don't care about tribal sovereignty.
That's right.
So we have to be proactive in making sure our school board members know what tribal sovereignty is. And thank you for attending, and you and the deputy speaker and Ms. Barker Harrell were great help, and we did some good work up there. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Next report, we have our FOIA, Gwen Terrapin.
Good morning. At this time, we have 35 FOIA requests and 5 GRA requests. We received 1 new FOIA and 1 GRA, and both of those are outstanding at this time. And the 2015 list has been updated, and a few other things have been updated on the website. And I encourage all of you to go there and look at that. And I sent the reports out to you, giving you the updated lists and everything. And I'd like to wish all of you a very blessed Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Thank you, Gwen. Any questions? Thank you very much. Tax Commission, Ms. Sharon Swepson. Always dependable Sharon.
Morning.
Morning.
I believe you have my report. I'll try to address any questions that you might have.
Good report.
All right. Thank you. Have a wonderful holiday season. Whoops, too fast.
Counselor Austin?
We are getting very close to the hunting and fishing license is actually going out.
Yes, sir.
Anything to report regarding that?
We have done the first upload to the Oklahoma Department of Wildlife. I spoke to them on Friday. The license format has been approved by the chief and by administration, so that has gone to them. I'm waiting on them to give me the printable file back, and I should have that today or tomorrow. And as soon as we do that, we will be printing them. The letter from the chief has been copied, and they will be being folded, stuffed, and put in envelopes, and hopefully out in the mail before Christmas.
We'll be in fish on January 1st.
Or hope so. I'm waiting on them. I mean, we're kind of at their mercy. When they get me the printable file back, then we will start, and it'll take us a few days to get it done from there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, Counselor Buzzer?
Just looking at the report, Sharon, look like everything's on the plus side for the revenue. Did I read anything?
No, that's just for 1 month. That's October. And for October, we've done really well. We've improved in all the areas, so been good.
Good. Anybody else? Thank you. Merry Christmas, Sharon, you and your
You too.
staff.
Thank you.
You will join us tomorrow, correct?
Plan on it.
Okay. Yes, we have a Gaming Commission, Mr. Jamie Hummingbird.
Good morning, Speaker Byrd, Tribal Council. Always a pleasure. I believe I've kept my report in the book streak going this month. Be glad to entertain any questions you might have.
Got us in a good mood today. Anybody? Has everyone had their coffee? Good report, Jamie. And
Thank you very much.
you
Hope
and your
you-
staff join us tomorrow?
Be here, definitely.
Okay.
Hope you guys have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Be safe, and remember the reason for the season.
Yes. I'll go ahead and clarify that. Tomorrow, the tribal council will be serving the meal, and I think we start 11 o'clock? 11:30 here for all the employees, Cherokee Nation, and you'll see the council members at their very best with their aprons and hats, and we're going to be willing to serve here. So that's what I kept asking about. They're going to join us tomorrow, so we'll take care of the employees. Okay. Human Resources, Mr. Nason Morton. Did I? I skipped self-governance. I'll come back to that in a minute.
Good morning. Right now, Human Resources is in the middle of a few projects. I should have a report on the status of them in January. Right now, not much has changed since the last report, so I like to have new information when I come with an item. I was asked for some information on the evaluation process and merit. I have that information, and I will email to Mr. Kanan Duncan the copy of the information so it can be disseminated for Mr. Walkingstick and for the rest of the council.
You might just go Kanan Duncan, then go Gail or Shelley, and she'll disperse it to us.
Okay.
Okay?
Does anyone have any questions?
Counselor Austin?
On your report, you tell how many we've hired. But I don't see anywhere where it tells me how many have gone away. So, what's our net?
Okay.
Yeah. So I know we've hired 535 people, but I don't know how many went away, so.
For the turnover rate. Okay. That's something I can add to the report.
Okay, any more questions? Good report.
Thank you very much, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Yes. Now, self-governance, apologize for that. Mr. Clint Hastings? I don't know how I overlooked that. Thank you.
I'll be honest, I thought Christmas came early. I was pretty excited. Then I saw somebody up here whispering, and
Yeah.
Anyways, you've got a report. If you've got any questions, I'll attempt to answer them or get you an answer.
Okay. Anybody? Well, you were lucky. Good report.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Yes. Okay, we'll drop down to old business. I don't see Mr. David Thornton here. Mr. Diane, were you going to let us know what we want to do with that first item?
Yes, Todd and I have been working together on doing the first draft of amendments. But we both were in D.C. all last week, and we've been busy, and so it's been, he finally did a couple of items, but Counselor Thornton wants to review them before we finally look through them. So he's asked, and since he had a family issue this morning, he couldn't be here, so he asked to table it. And Todd and I are going to continue to work on it and hopefully have major amendments for special rules for January, whatever y'all decide to do.
Okay.
Motion to table.
Motion to table. Got a second? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. Okay, new business. Counselor Walkingstick, you want to take that?
Yes. This is a resolution confirming the nomination of Sean Shepherd as a board member of the CMB. Sean is out of town right now, so he's not able to be here. But I know Sean personally. He's a respected small businessman here in Tahlequah. He's really business-minded as far as right now. He sits on our board up at the landfill, but I think he's going to add a lot of expertise to our CMB board, coming from I guess to add to diversifying the CMB as far as different aspects. So, anyways, I'd like to move for his approval.
Okay,
Second that.
got a motion and a second. Is this going to the council tonight?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
got a motion and a second. Discussion? Yes, Council Bezzer?
Mr. Chair and Council Walkenstick, to me, this is a really important position, and for Mr. Shepherd not to appear today, I had some questions for him. And I've expressed this opinion before, Mr. Chair, about appointing people to the board. I would like to see more diversification as far as appointments to the board. I'm sure this person is a good person. There's nothing personal against him, but I can't support him on that account because I just feel like we need to be more out in the public and hearing what we've got right now. So I'll not be supporting this person for the nomination tonight.
Sure. Point well taken. I think the council members have a right to ask questions to these very important boards that we're assigned to. So, Secretary, did you have a comment?
Just very briefly, Mr. Speaker, yes, Mr. Shepherd did have a conflict that just could not be reconciled in terms of his travel, but he is available by phone to answer any questions should we need to dial him up. And of course, he's been vetted by this committee before for the landfill.
Okay.
Can we go ahead and dial him up? Just
Mr. Chair, I don't know that I have any questions for him. That's just my point of view.
Yeah.
I'm not going to support the nomination tonight.
okay.
Okay.
So, all right.
Well, okay, and that's a point well taken, Councilor, because I think, again, on these positions, they need to come before us and need to look at us in the eye, and we need to ask our questions.
These are important
Yes,
positions.
they are. Okay. So you have a motion and a second. We had discussion. Councilor Lay.
I've got, not a discussion, but I've spoken with the chief for 4 years now, actually longer than that. When he and I were running, when he was running for chief and I was running for council. And that we needed to kind of have people from the various jurisdictions and districts of the Cherokee Nation on this board. This is our most important board. It's where all the money is made and or not made. And I don't have anybody from my district at this time on this board. And until I do, or at least for my country, I'm not voting for anybody, no matter how good they are. I do notice there's a gentleman from Craig County who used to be my district when I had District 4. And I'm gonna vote for him, support him, because he's from my country. And I've known him for a while anyway, met him before, and I know he served on another board. But here's the thing, we just can't dense pack all these board members from one location. And that's a complaint of mine, and there's nothing wrong with these other nominees, they're all good people. But until I get some cooperation from the chief, I know he don't care if I vote no, because he knows this is gonna pass. But I'm gonna make my stand right here today on that issue. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, you have a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Yeah, we better do roll call on that.
Jack Baker,
No.
Harley Buzzard,
No.
Joe Byrd,
Yes.
Sean Crittenden,
Yes.
Don Garvin,
No.
Frankie Hargis, Wanda Hatfield,
No.
Rex Jordan,
Yes.
Dick Lay,
Nope.
Curtis Snell, Janice Taylor,
Yes.
David Thornton, Victoria Vasquez,
Yes.
David Walkenstick,
Yes.
Ryan Warner,
Yes.
Bill Anglin,
No.
Keith Austin.
No.
We have 7 yes and 7 no. 7 yes, 7 no.
Okay, motion fell. All right, next item on the agenda is Counselor Vasquez, you want to take that?
Yes, sir. This is a resolution confirming the nomination of Christopher Carter as a board member of Cherokee Nation Businesses. And I can attest for this gentleman's character. I have known him since I was about 13 years old. I also know that he is not only a pillar of our community in the Bonita area, but he is one of the best businessmen ever. He has run businesses in that area for 38 years, highly successful businesses. He was also on our Cherokee Tax Commission in the last couple of years and has served well, and I think they'll miss him. I just want to say that I fully support him, and I ask all of you for his support. He's an excellent nominee, and also from the Northern District, I'm thrilled that we're going to have someone on this board. So I put this in form of a motion, and I also would like to ask that it go to full council tonight.
And he is,
Chris is here. Chris, would you stand?
well, that helps a lot. Mr. Carter, you want to come to the
You
front
come
here?
forward in case there's questions.
Okay, you
I'll
have
second her
had a
motion.
motion and a second, and we're in discussion here. Any questions for Mr. Chris Carter? Yes, Counselor Buzzer.
Hi, Mr. Carter. I don't really have a whole lot of questions, so just want to thank you for coming to the board today, because this is an important position that.
You can have a seat,
Yes,
Mr. Carter.
And I'm sure with your businesses that you have now, do you happen to know, are you Terrell certified within the Cherokee Nation, or do you know about Terrell?
Yes, I know about it, but I'm not certified.
No, you don't. So your company doesn't do business with the nation, other than sell gas and whatever?
That, and I do some catering business for them, like meetings and stuff
Okay.
like that. You know, not on the large scale.
Okay. Yep. Well, that's the question I had for you. Good luck on the vote here, so I appreciate you showing up and coming to the board.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yes. Anybody else? Yes, Counselor Lay.
Yeah, I'm going to support this nominee. He's a small businessman from the north end, and when I ran in 2011, I ran through Mays, Craig, Nowata, and Washington counties, 4 full counties. I'm the only council person sitting at this table who's done that since we've had districts. Run through 4 full counties. Met a lot of good people. And I know that this is a smart man. And I know we've got a lot of smart people up north that are just as smart as those folks from anywhere else that need to be sitting on this board. I've got one, now I'm going to have 2, I hope. And that's what I got to say. Thank you.
Yes, any more comments? Yes.
I just failed to mention that he is a Cherokee citizen. I'm really proud of that. Thank you.
Okay, you got a motion, second. Any more comments, questions? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Congratulations. You want to say something?
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I just want to say thank everybody that I and Sharon enjoyed serving for you for 2 years. Enjoyed that, learned a lot, so thank you. All right.
Just want to say, you guys are getting a good guy. He has done a tremendous job on the tax commission. We certainly appreciate him, and we hate to lose him, but we do understand that he will do a wonderful job on the CB board also.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes. Next, we have Frankie Hargis. Now, Frankie's family had some health problems. Keep her mother in prayer. She's at the city hospital this morning, and so she let me know she might not be here till maybe later. So her mother is not doing well or doing better. I heard just earlier. So at this time, Councilor Vasquez, you want to take that on?
Yes. This is discussion and possible action, a report from the recognition work group. And I just want to state that the work group did meet, and we agreed to accept this recognition of the Cherokee Renegades. And I move at this time to amend the agenda to add this resolution to today's business. And I might put that in the form of a motion.
Okay. And let me explain what the Cherokee Renegades is for the audience here for you. It's a elderly group now, but it was an all Cherokee basketball team that won the national championship back in 1981. And Counselor Hatfield had two brothers on there, and I was on there. Had Mr. Qualls, the superintendent, Dr. Darrell Meese from J, Jerry Holderby, C&B, and all Cherokee teams. So it's the only team that's ever won the national championship at that level. So we went through the process, and Chief's going to recognize them tonight at the council meeting. So that's just for your information. So if you have any questions, I'll try to answer those. I just want to recognize them while we're all still around. Some of them are limping a little bit, and before we all get on dialysis or whatever, we thought we better recognize this group here. Well, thank you, Councilor Vasquez. So we need to vote on that, Sean? So at this time, I entertain motion to.
We already got motion second.
Got a motion second? Okay. Discussion?
Just to amend the agenda.
It's to amend the agenda.
Oh,
to
okay,
the resolution.
okay. So all in favor, say aye to amend the agenda?
Aye.
Okay. All opposed? All right. This,
Does that move it to, we want to do it tonight, right?
yes.
And that's what we just.
Now, we need the motion to approve this for,
Yep. Motion to
Yeah.
approve.
motion?
One second.
Second? Discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you.
Consider the council tonight, right?
Yes. Janice, you want to take the next one there?
Okay, this is our amending tarot to deal with trust-owned businesses. And I was not aware until this morning that our Attorney General has not had a chance to look over this legislation. And so I would like to ask if we could table this one more month. So I make a motion to that.
I've got one question.
Yes, Councilor Lay.
What, can somebody explain to me what we're doing here?
Okay, we have got a business that is owned by a trust that has applied for tarot certification. The tarot law currently is silent as to businesses that are owned by trusts. And so we just need to address that. If we want to allow businesses owned by trusts to be tarot certified, we need to set some requirements, just like we do if they're owned by individuals. And so that's what we're working toward.
Seems like we went through this when we did Tayro, and somebody suggested we should not do that. I can't remember everything about it.
Yeah, it's
But
I
we should
vaguely,
not
but you remember
allow-
that, Councilor Baker?
Vaguely, but we do need to address it again, I'm sure.
I just think it needs to say, in if we are not going to allow businesses owned by trust, fine, but we need to state that in our law so that it's clear, so that this doesn't come up again. So the Attorney General is going to take a look at it, but since you bring this up, I can look over the old legislation and see what we,
Sometimes
what was
trusts-
decided before.
Trusts have language in them that would possibly interfere with what we're trying to do. I think, was that it, Jack?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, do you have a problem with tabling this for 30 days?
I asked to table it
Oh,
for
you
30
did?
days
Okay.
because I wasn't aware the Attorney General hadn't looked at it.
Okay.
And I wanted him to.
Okay.
I don't make a move without the Attorney General's okay.
Appreciate that. Okay. Yes, Councilor Walkenstick.
I'd like to reconsider the resolution confirming.
We're not done with this.
Let us finish this.
Okay, did you have something to say on the trust issue?
Just on the trust issue, and maybe AG Henry may say something too, but businesses for tarot have to be owned by Native Americans, because we don't just limit it to Cherokees, because you see other Native Americans that own different businesses. But trust businesses, unless we get a verification that the trustee or the beneficiaries and the beneficiaries are Native Americans, then that needs to include there to keep the tarot consistent. And would you, and then some of the tarot staff asked Counselor Taylor if she would take a look at it, and so she asked me if I would look at the tarot code, and I did, and that's what provision in there that you see. Shelley looked at it also. She looked at the tribal code book. There were some different code numbers, but as far as language, that's what we changed. So, but if A.G. Henry wants to look at it, he and the Secretary of State, then we can table it not something that's an emergency amendment at this point.
There's a motion to table.
Okay, so motion table, we're good with that? Got a second, did we vote on that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so we'll table that for 30 days?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
January.
all right. That concludes our,
Nope, you gotta do a resolution for Cherokee Renegades. You added it to the agenda.
yeah, we
No,
voted on it.
We passed it.
We passed it.
We
We
did.
passed it also.
Yeah, we did the
Yeah.
amendment, then we passed it. Okay. Counselor Austin, please.
I'd like to, now, mind you, I'm not quite sure the language I'm supposed to be using here, but I'm sure you'll guide me. I'd like to amend the agenda. I voted no against, on the Sean Shepherd nomination, not because of his qualifications, not because I wouldn't vote for him if I had the opportunity to talk to him, but because I feel it's important to
Sure.
have an opportunity before I confirm. I would like to add him to next month's agenda, or open it for that possibility. What do we need to do for that?
Gentlemen, yield to you on this Robert's rules. He's not Terrell certified, so I'm not that familiar with this action they're trying to take. Counselor Beck.
If allowed to answer a parliamentary question from Ms. Parker Harold, be happy.
You can put that same resolution and ask, instead of failure, or you can ask for a reconsideration to put it on next month's agenda.
Well, actually, a motion to reconsider would be proper today's meeting if it was made by a motion on the prevailing side, which was a no vote.
And
So,
that
yeah,
was,
so, Mr. Austin, if you wanted to, or any other person on the no side wanted to do a motion to reconsider, that would be a proper motion at this time, seeing that we've had additional members that have joined the meeting.
Is there a proper motion to delay it 30 days?
There's a proper motion to table, there's a proper, actually, it wouldn't be to delay, because this motion has been defeated. Okay?
Yes.
So it would have to be a whole new motion or resolution at some given time in the future. So a motion to table would not be proper. The only proper motion for any action today would be a motion to reconsider, and that has to happen from the prevailing side, which would have been a no vote.
Okay,
so
all right.
Counselor Austin was on the no vote, and Counselor Hatfield is going to second it, so it's both on the no side.
Okay, so we're in discussion. Counselor Lay, you got a comment?
Yeah, what's getting ready to happen here, in my opinion, is similar to me being asked to vote on legislation that's slapped down on my desk 2 minutes before I vote. And I don't know exactly what has happened here. I think, I see some scurrying in the background, and that's fine. It could be brought through next month and it would pass. And I think that's the suitable way to do it, and that's just my opinion.
Yes, Counselor Walkston. Can you handle that by doing it next month, or you want?
Well, I'm kind of fair with Councilman Buzzard and everyone else in this body. I think you should be present. I think this is a big position. If Sean could be here next month, I would rather, if they're willing to reconsider, Councilman Austin, that we table this for 30 days till next month.
We've already voted no, so we can't table.
Well, I mean, it's
So
Councilman
the
Austin's
chief can put it
motion.
back in for next month.
Is that correct?
The resolution's been defeated.
Yes.
So there's no.
They can
action.
bring it back up next month?
That is a definite possibility.
Okay,
I would rather.
all right. What's the wishes of the community? Is
You
that-
got a motion and a second.
I don't think the motion was ever made.
There was no motion made.
Just talking about
Austin
making-
make a motion.
We were in discussion.
ask him to make-
Okay, Counselor Austin, you had the floor.
Well, not quite sure how to accomplish it, but I want the opportunity to vote for him after I've had the opportunity to visit with him.
Okay.
I don't have any desire I don't have any problem with the guy. I have no problem with him. I don't think anybody in mass does. But I do want to have the opportunity to visit before.
If that's the wish, then we can bring it up next month if the chief chooses to.
Okay.
Okay? All right.
So is that a motion?
Is that a motion? I'm confused.
No motion. We were in discussion. Don't need a motion.
Okay.
Chief, just
Yes. Okay, that concludes our agenda here. So, any announcements? No announcements. I thank council members. We'll have lunch today. So I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second to adjourn. We are.